Hello! It has been a whole month since I uploaded a video here on YouTube and a lot has been happening, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. Hey, hi, hello, my name is Melanie and I write all kinds of cozy books, non-fiction and fiction. So I put up a post about a month ago saying that I was having an extended break from YouTube. That was because I was focusing on writing my next non-fiction book, which I am pleased to say is now fully drafted, and I'll be sharing more about that in just a minute. But while I've been gone, two of my fellow authors here on YouTube have had book releases, so I'd like to briefly share what those are, where you can find them, and why you should go check them out. First up is the lovely Lorraine Mazel, who has released her debut book, That Which Is True Cannot Be. I believe this is a Southern Gothic horror. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Lorraine, but I do remember the word Southern Gothic coming up at some point. I have already purchased my copy and I believe it is on sale for 99 cents all week, which was around 77 pence here in the UK. You have nothing to lose. Lorraine is lovely. Go check out her channel as well. She is so big on supporting, highlighting the work of fellow indie authors. So if that's you, go support her, check out her channel and go buy her book. Excited to get stuck into that once I get out of non-fiction mode, which is currently where I'm at. Secondly, the lovely Emma Bennett has released a new contemporary romance, which is The Happily Ever After Bookshop. If you are a newbie here on YouTube in terms of AuthorTube, go support Emma Bennett because she is big on hyping up smaller channels. And she's just lovely, and if you like romance, perfect person for you to follow. And she shares lots of hints and tips and everything on also being a hybrid author, because her romance, I believe, is traditionally published, but I know she has self-published a few titles of her own as well. Okay, so those are both of the new releases that I wanted to share with you. Now let's get into where I've been all month and what I've been doing and why I took a month off. So let's start with, I got my book drafted. So I was doing Sarah Cannon's rough draft challenge all of April. It's like a replacement for NaNoWriMo, but more relaxed. You can kind of set your own goal, whether that's a word count goal, a time spent editing goal, even a goal that's not related to doing any kind of writing. If you just do hobbies like knitting or crochet, you can join in as well. My goal was to finish drafting my non-fiction book, which is now titled Cosy Creativity. I am really excited about this book. I am kind of describing it as the artist's way, but relaxed. Don't get me wrong, I love The Artist's Way. There is a reason it has been a #1 bestseller forever in its category. But it's very regimented, you know, it's week by week and there are exercises to do and artist date and morning pages. And that's just not going to work for everybody. And also I feel The Artist's Way is very much targeted at people who are doing some form of art professionally. As opposed to people who are wanting to maybe get back to being creative in their everyday life, but are not necessarily wanting to be a published author, a celebrated watercolor artist, a famous potter, whatever your art might be. So my book is specifically focused on midlife women who are looking to regain that creativity that they feel they might have lost along the way in between all those responsibilities, right? Having children, caring for older parents, holding down a job. It might feel like it has been more than a decade since you did anything remotely creative, and it feels really hard to get back into that. I have utilized my kind of own experience of coming back and starting writing books in my late 30s to kind of inform what I was writing there. And it's basically for anyone who is kind of in this midlife, who doesn't really think of themselves as an artist, maybe doesn't have any aspirations to do it professionally, but really wants to get back to a hobby or a pastime that they once enjoyed, or wants to try something new but is feeling a bit hesitant about it, that is who this book is for, and I'm excited to get it out into the world. I have the cover for it, but I am not revealing that just yet. I want to wait until it's fully redrafted, revised and edited, and I have more a announcement date for you. I'm aiming for the end of this month, because it is a short book. All of my non-fiction books are more novelette in length because I like to inspire people, but I just want you to get out there and action what I'm talking about, rather than having a very long book that you get to the end, you think, that's nice, and then you don't really do a lot on it. My books are short, sharp, to the point, but cozy. And that is just the kind of length and the vibe that I go for. So it's not going to take me an awfully long time to revise and edit. And as I said, I'm hoping for the end of May, but I make no promises, and I will let you know when it is definitely ready in the near future. So that was my predominant reason for having a month off YouTube. The second was I was struggling mentally with a lot of comparisonitis. I don't know if that's a real word, but you know what I mean. I was kind of logging on to YouTube and social media and just seeing people that were so much further ahead than I am. People that seem to be very effortlessly, making all these sales and having these big ARC teams and all these wonderful posts, and just seem to be doing it with such ease. And yes, I know that's me absolutely, seeing it that way, and that's probably not how it was for that author whatsoever. But I was seeing accounts like, for example, I saw an account here on YouTube that was a similar kind of topic to mine, about kind of midlife women and reinvention. And I'm going to be really honest with you, this person had one video. It was a brand new channel, so it was not a case of they had a channel before with tons of subscribers, delete the content, start again. Brand new channel, one video that was very, wasn't fancy at all. It was very much talking like this. And it had like over 6,000 views. And I kind of saw it, and honestly, I really struggled. I was like, how can this be? Like, how is it fair that this person got so many views? Like, there wasn't even a description. The title wasn't, optimized for SEO. It really got to me. Just being 100% honest with you guys here about this, it really got to me. And then everything else I was seeing, people's channels who were just growing exponentially quickly. I'm just like, why is it everyone else and not me? I got very much into that whole woe is me kind of mindset, and that's not who I am at all. And it was really getting to me. And I knew this was a time that I needed to step back. I needed to address why I felt like that, and not return until I could be in a position to either feel neutral towards those kinds of success and accounts and everything, or be happy for them, which was where I really needed to get to, because I don't want to spend my time online just being jealous or envious of people who are having success, and by my standards it doesn't feel like they've earned it, which is a terrible way to think. I don't think I'm alone in this. Hoping I'm not alone in this, but I'm just being really real about how I was feeling over the month, and it was hard. So I came off of social media, I came off of YouTube for several weeks, didn't look at anything like that. And I took time to kind of ask the questions through journaling about why I felt this way. I realized it was really coming from a place of lack, of believing that there's not enough success and money for everyone, even though money is not my predominant goal, which I'll get to in a minute. I was coming from a place of, if they're having all this success and I'm not, it's because there's only so much to go around, which is absolute nonsense, but so easy to fall into that way of thinking if you're not careful. So I kind of worked things out on the page, and I realized that what I was feeling and thinking was valid. It wasn't healthy, it wasn't good, and it wasn't the best way to approach things. So when I came back and I saw these same people, I just practiced not blessing them, so to speak, but being positive and saying, hey, that's great, that person's achieved that. And the fact that that person has had that success means that I too could have that success. It exists as a possibility. Reframing it in that way was such a help. And I would recommend that if you're struggling with this, maybe you see someone who published books like maybe a year before you and is now miles ahead of you, and you struggle with that. I know quite a few people have experienced that. If you just say to yourself that the success they're having means that that success is possible for you, then that really, I find, helps me to kind of step back from it, get back into my own lane, put those kind of blinders on, and just focus on what I'm doing. And that leads into the kind of second part of what having this time off has made me reevaluate, and that is my goals as an author. I think when I started, I was very much caught up in the whole six-figure author thing. I don't know why it's six figures, but it's always six figures, isn't it? That these kind of people are teaching you how to make. It's like 10K months. Like, this is the numbers that the internet is obsessed with. And I was, oh, that's like so good and aspirational. And I was like, oh, if I had this money, I could do X, Y, Z. How would that feel? Let me start by saying nothing wrong with that goal. Fully support you. If that is your goal, I'm with you, I support you, go for it. But if you think that has to be your goal, but you're not quite sure, this is your permission to say, actually, no. And I realized that that was not really my goal. That wasn't what I wanted. I spent a lot of time looking at people who at least claim, because none of us can really know, but people who claim to be making this kind of money. And when you look at even just the things they share, because none of us knows what is going on behind the scenes, not our business, not our business. But if you look at the things they're sharing online, the things that they are doing to make that money, the amount of books they're writing, like 30 plus books a year, a book every few months. They're running courses or podcasts. They're doing email lists, direct sales. They are doing so many streams of income, and also most people, not all of them, but most of them are running very expensive and extensive ad campaigns. All of this is to say is there is a lot that goes into being a six-figure author, a lot of sacrifices to be made. And I asked myself, is that something I'm willing to do? Because you can't make six figures just, putting out one book a year, unless you're trad published and that book, does amazingly well or something. But if you're an indie author and you want to make six figures, one book a year, even just a couple of books a year, is unlikely to yield those results. I'm okay with that. That's not what I wanted to do. I don't want to be in my office late at night writing books or creating courses, having to dedicate all of my kind of time to do that. That's not what I want. And that is okay. And to that effect, I actually decided to undertake a new little writing project, and that is a good old-fashioned blog. Yes, blog. Not these blogs these days where, every 2 sentences they're trying to sell you something with an affiliate link or there's an advert for a course. None of that. I'm talking blogging from the early 2000s kind of style. And my blog is kind of aimed at people who are in a circumstance similar to me. Because what I also found was that a lot of the how to be successful as an indie author content is largely aimed at people working a full-time job who are wanting to write on the side. And if that's you, that's great, that's fantastic. I'm glad those resources are there for you. And I know that most people are in that situation. But I am not in that situation. I am a full-time homemaker, and I wanted to create a blog and a resource for people who are either full-time at home and thus their income is just one job or one career, just a single income. People whose income is more fixed, for example, if you're on any sort of disability or welfare type benefit. or if your income is just kind of lower than the average, i.e. people that are not in a position to spend lots of money on ads and editing and book covers. That's the people that I'm writing this blog for. So if that's you, there is a link in my YouTube channel description bit. I will also pop it in the box down below. It is a very simple, basic blog. I'm not trying to sell you anything. There's no affiliate links. There's probably ads because it's just a free WordPress blog, but they're not ads. I've placed there. And top tip, install AdGuard and it will get rid of them, and AdGuard is free. But my blog has basically got quite a lot of posts. They're all very short posts. They're all like 500 words about ways that you can basically publish for free, and all the tools and resources that I have found that will help you do that, or at least very low cost. So if you're looking for a way to kind of get started with publishing and you're in that kind of lower income, maybe not working full-time kind of place, I think you would really enjoy this blog. So as I said, I will leave a link down below. You can go and check it out. Just very simple, old school 2000s blog, because that's how I'm just keeping it simple these days. I just didn't want another kind of project where it's all about search engine optimization and keywords and all of that. Just a super simple blog designed to help people like me. Okay, I think that is everything that I wanted to share in this video. I might not be uploading every single week. I'm going to aim for every 2 weeks, and if I do more than that, great. If not, I think every 2 weeks is going to work for me. I'm just trying to have that balance between writing my book and living my life in real life and not being online all the time. And I think every 2 weeks is my aim right now. If you're new here, hello. I would love for you to hit the subscribe button if any of this video resonated with you. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.